Today, we're going to go over the process of checking in online with Carnival Cruise Lines. There are two ways to do this. One, via your mobile app through the Carnival Hub app, or two, the computer version. This video is going to be talking about the computer version. I'll also have a mobile app version coming out soon. The reason I'm prioritizing the web version is because sometimes the mobile app gets a little glitchy and it gets difficult to do online check-in. So I'm doing the web version for today. Then I'll show you the mobile app later. It's important to note, regardless, that your check-in opens 16 days before the cruise if you're a suite guest, diamond or platinum member, or you have the faster to fun. Everyone else, you get a check-in 14 days before the cruise instead of 16 days. And online check-ins opens up at midnight Eastern Standard Time, regardless of what time zone you're in. For example, I am Central Standard Time, so when online check-ins opens up at midnight Eastern Standard Time, for me, it actually opens up at 11 p.m. Central Standard Time. So do the conversion for your time zone. And this is important to do to get all your information verified, whether it be your boarding documents, whether it be a passport, etc. Get your online check-in time as soon as you can, as well as get your onboard account set up. So we'll hop into what it looks like right now. All right, so you're gonna log into your Carnival account. Go to carnival.com, log into your profile, and you can see something like this. Scroll down a little bit. When it's time to check in, you will see your to-do list, the online check-in, print documents, etc. over here on your cruise planner. And once it opens up, this button will change. And when it opens, you just click on it. You're going to see something like this. Go over some details of what you need. Basically saying you need your guest information, your travel documents, and set up your onboard expenses. And this is important to do because to get the earliest check-in time possible, you want to do this exactly when it opens up. Wait an hour, you may get some midday options, and if you wake up the next morning or even the day after that, sometimes you are going to get is afternoon options, which some people it's not a big deal. But me, I like to get on minutes after the people who have suite rooms and faster to fun. I timed it once, and I boarded like 5 minutes after the suite guests and like 2 minutes after faster to fun guests. And I'm on some recent cruise, I boarded at the same time as the faster to fun guests. So it's like getting that benefit without paying extra for it. And here's a tip. You don't have to go through this whole process because as you'll see here in a moment, there's a lot of check-in screens right here to go through. If you want to get the earliest boarding time possible, as soon as it opens up, you can actually skip all these other options and just click on arrival appointment and can immediately select your check-in time. I've already done this because I want the earliest check-in time possible. I like getting 10 o'clock, the first boarding time available, because I want to make the most out of my cruise. The thing is, if you're a person who gets sleepy at night, you don't like staying up late, you stay up late to do your online check-in, get this earliest time possible, you can just click your arrival time and save it. Then that's all you have to do. You can finish the rest in the morning and still keep your arrival time. But anywho, I'm going to finish you walking through the process. So if you want to get the earliest arrival time, you just want to click arrival time and then go to sleep and do the rest of the morning, go ahead, do that, and pick up with this part of the video in the morning. Okay, now going back to the beginning, first thing it's going to ask you is which guests are you checking in? You can check in for yourself, you can check in for anyone else in that room. For example, today I'm going to check in me and my wife. So I'm going to fill out information for me as well as information for her. So I'll check both of our information. After I do it, I'll click on the red button at the bottom. This is going to ask you for some address information. You'll see these things blacked out because I'm protecting my personal information, but I'm kind of showing everything else so you know what to expect when it's time to fill it in, so you have all the proper documents. This is asking you for emergency contact information. This is going to ask you if you have any medical conditions. So your travel agent could also include this when they book their cruise for you. If you did it yourself, you didn't use a travel agent, this is where you put it in. And if you do have a travel agent, they may have already done this on the back end. But still, I would still fill this out regardless, just to have double checked in Carnival system, which means it's notated in 2 places instead of just 1. In theory, if you don't do it, since the travel agent did it, it still should be fine, but I say do it anyways. Give Carnival no excuses to miss anything. And it's going to ask you if you sail with any other cruise lines. Why it asks this, I don't know. Maybe they want me to be too loyal to Carnival, but I'm loyal to a good time, so I sell them all. Here's an example of all the arrival time slots it is available. That will give an idea of what slots may work for you. Of course, this may change slightly depending on your sailing, but most of them fall along this time frame. Next thing it's going to ask you for is your travel documents. If you click on what travel documents is accepted, it will kind of give you a list of what you need. This kind of assumes that you are a U.S. citizen. So if you are an adult, you'll need a birth certificate and your government issue ID. If you're under the age of 16, all you need is a birth certificate. Regardless, it is recommended that at any age that you have a passport, but it's not required to have a passport. It is recommended though. Because of an event, if something were to go wrong, it makes it easy to travel and get transported in cases of emergency. Let's go through more of a series of questions. Just make sure you have the right documents when you board. Then it's going to ask you if you could share the travel information with U.S. Customs Border Protection, which I don't know why they ask this, because technically they're going to have to do it anyways, but maybe there's something illegal in the back and I have no clue about. But regardless, they ask you. After that, they're going to ask you about your travel arrangements. I'm parking at the pier, parking elsewhere. Will I be flying to this cruise? Because if I am, they're going to want my flight information. It's not required, but it just helps them figure out if something goes wrong or if your flight's delayed, that you're probably going to be late. The more information I have, the better. It doesn't guarantee anything, but it helps out, especially if you have a flight with Carnival, because you could do that as well. And it helps them keep track of everything, which they should already have information in the back end. But this is going to ask you to create your onboard account. And with this, you could either do it a cash expense or you could do it a credit card account. I have done both, where I put a card on file and automatically charge my card during the duration of the cruise. With credit cards, I had no issues. With a debit card, they do put a hold on your account, and that sometimes can last until like the day after the cruise you get off, or sometimes going to hold on to the entire duration of the cruise. Or other times it stays on there for like a week after the cruise. It depends on the bank, and Carnival both blame each other. But just know that if you use a debit card, technically any onboard charges that you have while on the card, it may charge you on a daily basis on those daily charges. But at the end of the cruise, they'll combine the two. The hold will drop off and only charge you for what I actually put on the card. It's a little confusing sometimes and a little frustrating. Or you could just do it a cash account instead. Bring some cash aboard the ship. That's what I did on my most recent one, just because I've never done a cash account, so I never had experience in that. What I did was I went up there, I checked in and say, hey, and they say, hey, are you paying with card or cash? I say, hey, I'm using cash, but I actually have my cash in the form of gift cards. And they said, okay, once you get on the ship, go ahead and load your gift card to your account. And that's what I did. I got into the ship, went to the machine to actually self-load my gift card onto my account instead of going to guest services. You can't go to guest services to do it, but there's also a machine there, which is typically quicker when you're just trying to load a gift card onto a machine, because there's typically not very long of a line. If you don't know where your folio number is when you first get on the ship, go to the bar, tell them your room number. They'll tell you your folio number. You take that folio number, go to the self-service kiosk, put in your folio number, and you could type in the gift card number there and get a credit to your account. So it's really whatever option works for you. Also, you could designate who you are covering on the cruise. So for example, I usually put my card on file, so whatever my wife charges her onboard account gets charged to my card. Same with my kids. And you can also set spending limits on those. So for my kids, if I keep scrolling, I should be able to see it. I could designate who my card is going to cover, and I can set actual spending limits of specific users. So if I had a kid, I could tell them, hey, you spend $20 at the arcade or wherever you want. I could spend them at $20, and more if more than $20 tries to be charged to the account, it'll just put a stop at $20. This one is asking to use Buy on Go technology as part of your cruise. Basically, when I have my passport, I leave the ship, scan my face, say yes, I'm good to go. You really no stopping. I don't have to show anything. It's pretty simple. If you say no, I don't know what happens, because I've always said yes. Because why wouldn't you? Then after that, it's going to ask you to agree to the cruise contract, which you should have already a copy of this. You can sign it for yourself. You also can sign it on other people's behalf and do the check-in for them as well. And afterwards, you have your check-in summary to confirm all information. Everything looks good. You go on through. And it's really that simple. I know some people freak out for online check-in, not knowing how simple it actually is. The big thing with online check-in is to make sure to get your arrival time early. And you want to do this before you get to the cruise port. Because if you don't do this before you get to the cruise port, you could do it at the cruise port. But one, you're going to be excited. You want to go on the ship. And last thing you want to do is be trying to do this at the cruise port. It is going to be a pain in the butt. So do not wait. All right, that was online check-in. It's as simple as that. If you have any questions, let me know. and enjoy your Carnival cruise.